something that the Lord revealed to me this past couple weeks. And He's been revealing to me slowly. And I've been trying my best to keep my patience about it. And then, okay, so obviously the title of this video or this live is Pride and the Downfall of Man. And Jezebel, um, Jezebel, the principality in the in her pursuit of power, was governed by a spirit of pride. Um, and I'm noticing that yes, there is a lot of people who are doing a lot of nasty things in this hour, and people have a tendency to call it narcissism. But what I believe is really going on is that people have been brainwashed, programmed to believe a lie. And the Lord has set this up so that people can see themselves. Um, a lot of what we do, and a lot of the practices that we have been given to us. They're not innate and in us intuitively. We don't just do the things we do based on what we know in our hearts is the right thing to do. We do it based on pride. A lot of what we have, a lot of the habits, behaviors, the thinking that we have now has been based on what's been told to us by people who present as being smart, intelligent, wise, and positions of authority. And to be honest, we've been tricked because these people are oftentimes not as wise as they present to be. They're not wise. What they are conniving and manipulating. People have a tendency to label narcissists as being a feeling that they're smarter than everybody else. And I want to bring your attention to the idea of a toddler or a young person, a baby, who, in their infinite wisdom, puts their hands over their eyes to hide from their parent or their caregiver, when clearly they're visible. A narcissist will do evil things. Someone who governed by the Jezebel principality will do evil things, lie, manipulate, cheat in hopes of getting away with something. And people are labeling it as smart. How smart could that really be if we are all governed by one God and there is one consequence for sin, which is hell? That's not smart. That's just wicked. There's two different things. We have to stop calling evil good and good evil. Evil is not smart. Evil is just, like I said, wicked. Anyone could lie. Only people with a conscience will avoid not being truthful. These people are governed by not just pride, but greed, lust, perversion, manipulation. Those are the things that these people are governed by. And they present as being like upright and noble, and it's very sad. And the saddest part about it is that has infiltrated the church. And I need you to be wise about this, but there is something happening in Hollywood right now, and people in the church have a tendency to believe that they're higher, they're too above what to be not watching what's going on. But what they need to know is that what's happening in Hollywood is what God is using to impact the globe. Because most of these celebrities that people are praising and worshiping and idolizing, behind the scenes are not what they present to be. Just like what you label as being a narcissist, they're not what we think they are. And you're starting to see this. So, all the music that you've been listening to, all the clubs you've been going to, all the things you've been drinking, all the things you've been smoking based on their lead have all been designed to destroy us. And you're about to see this. God's designed it because not everyone's been influenced by Hollywood. Not everyone, and I'm gonna say the church as well, the church dresses. And I'm talking about the church as people holistically know the church to be. When we really know that the church is a chosen group of people. God sees every heart. So when you see people trying to destroy others, including in the church, you know, first of all, it's not necessarily narcissism, it's a spirit, it's spiritual. People can try and make this scientific and psychological all they want, but we know that the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what the battle is against. Not against people, not against things, not against God. Spiritual wickedness. Okay. Now we could take on and believe what with the spirit, what we're being led and taught to believe. But you're very soon going to see that what we've been taught so far to believe has been a lie. It's been a lie. And they like to call it conspiracy. Those terms have been made up by the enemy to make you think that you're being foolish. And that's where the pride thing comes in. When someone shows you something very logical and that makes sense, you want to say that it's a conspiracy. One plus one is two, my dear, and it always will be two. Unless God intervenes and it's a miracle, it will always be two. We have people in the church who are practicing witchcraft. They're stealing ideas and notions from other people and making it their own sermons. They are appointing themselves and saying that it's God, all in the name of religion. Because it really is religion. That's not godly at all. If someone was to go to one of these churches and ask for help, they're not getting it. What is the church supposed to be for? What did the Lord say we're supposed to do? We're supposed to help those in need. That's what the church is supposed to be there for. That's what tithes and offering are for, not to build ourselves. But the pride thing is not, I'm not going to beat up on anybody, but I'm not going to just focus on Christianity because this pride thing is infiltrated everywhere. In the society, the community where am right now, there's been an influx of people from South Asia. I believe that's where it's from. And in their culture, they appear to be very close, very connected. But what I discovered now that they've been here for a while, they've gotten to know us and we've gotten to know them. And what I've discovered is that their society is governed by a strong spirit of pride. Their gods have them focused on getting things, and they will do anything and everything to get what they want. They will steal, they will lie, they will cheat. And most people from other cultures are looking and I think because it happened almost like overnight. One day we woke up and they were everywhere. I won't call out the culture specifically. I'm sure you might have an idea of what I'm talking about, but if you don't, just stay with me in this. So every fast food restaurant, there was an idea at one point that you'd have to be diverse in who you employ. They have to be good at what they do. Now, when you go into fast food restaurants where I'm at, everybody is from this particular culture. The driving here, no one follows rules. They fall as close behind. They cut people off. They eat. They call this eating the left-hand turn light. And when it's time for it to turn red, then they turn by themselves. And there's a whole slew of people behind them that haven't turned. The things I've been seeing have been just conniving and manipulative and wicked. There's a small group of people who've had an encounter with God who are not enticed by the things of this world. Those are the people who you would call the church, who would use their last dollar to help someone else, knowing fully well that God will provide all their needs according to the riches and glory, because that's God's promise. There's this wickedness on this earth, wickedness. And I'm going to speak to the people who have been chosen at this time. You need to be very careful about who you allow in your circle. Very wise, because people will pretend to be for you, they'll smile in your face, they'll even give you food to eat, and they'll curse that food, and they'll lie behind your back. They'll find out your deepest secrets and tell everybody. Or they'll find your deepest secrets and they're twisted to make themselves seem better and make you seem bad. That's the times we're living in. People who are prideful enough to destroy innocent people. People who are prideful enough to use people who have nothing to do with their lives and use them for their own pleasure or their own use and justify it in some twisted way. Be very wise. God is not mocked. All a man sows, he shall reap. It's Galatians. I'll put the description in the description of the scriptures I've been referring to, but you need to know this is not a time to be playing with God. I let some people sway me into doing some things that I should not be doing, and their intention wasn't because they care about me. Their intention was to destroy me. Now that I know that it is, I know I love God more than I love people. I love God more than I love myself, but I do love myself. And as much as I know this word is true, I'm going to do what's right now. And it doesn't matter who is hurt by what I am doing, because most people are offended very easily. You can't tell them truth without getting, you can't even speak what's out visibly right in front of us. Like what I just spoke to about this particular culture being a certain way. People say it's racist. And I'm thinking, that means you can't speak at all. We're embarking on a time where truth is going to be illegal. You have to be very wise about what you say and how you say it. But you cannot be afraid to stand for truth because that your salvation depends on it. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Remember, you're made marvelously. You're chosen specifically for this time. You know, the Lord wants us to do the right thing, but the Bible says, straight is the gate and narrow is the way that leads to righteousness, and few there be that find it. And that's the thing that concerns me. I'm very concerned. People say, like, why are you so heavy? Why are you always talking about this? Because this should be everyone's talk right now. Everyone should be talking about this. This is the reality. To be walking and not observing this and seeing this is silly. All right, until next time, be blessed.